Okay, so can you hear my voice, right? Online students, can you hear my voice? Online students, can you hear my voice, right? Online students, okay, right. So anyway, anyway, yesterday I said about yeah, yesterday I said about what is a Flask is. Yesterday anyway, I said about what is a Flask is, right? Django, no? So these are the things what we have seen about the Flask. Okay, so these are the things what I discussed in the last class. And I said, what is the difference between the full stack web framework as well as macro framework? I said about full stack framework as well as macro framework. Okay, yes. Yeah, when it start, I'll tell you. So this is the advantage of using a Flask, and the companies using the Flask here, right? And who developed Flask? I said all these things, and I uploaded already notes. Already uploaded notes in. Already I uploaded notes in my Telegram. Already I uploaded notes in my Telegram. Okay. Yes. Then after this, next what I'm doing is I'll try to tell you. Okay. So whenever you are talking about web application development, see, whenever you are talking about web application development, okay. So whenever you are talking about web application development, so web application required. Okay, actually web application required. So two things here, or two things are two softwares. Okay, two things you required, or two components you required. So one is called as, okay, one is called as a client. So first one is called as a client. You required a client software, and you required what here? Server software. You required two things. One is a client and one more is a server. Okay. So in web application development, in web application development, in web application development, always a client is what here? Browser. Client is a browser. Okay. Client is what here? Browser. Browser is a client. So client is a browser. Okay. And server, you required a server. Now server is a software. Server is a software. Okay, where application, where web application, where web application is what installed. Server is a software where web application is installed, and application resources are served. Application resources are what? Served. Okay. So server is a software where web application is installed, and application resources are what here? Served. Application resources are served. That you call it as server. So generally the servers are two types. One is a development server. So development server, okay, and one more is what production server. So development server and one more is a production server. Means after developing your application, you install that application into what production server. Okay. So you find two types of servers, development server and production server. Suppose if you are developing application using Java, then you required which server here? Java web server. You required a Java web server. If you are working with the .NET, then you required which server? Okay, .NET web server means that should understand which language? .NET language. And if you are working with a PHP, then you required which server? Some PHP server like this. In the same way, if you are working with a Python, then you are required which server? Python web server. Python web server. Python web server. Okay. But there are so many vendors provide these web servers. So many vendors provide these web servers, and all these web servers follow the specifications given by the Python, and all these web servers are the servers. I can say Python web servers, Python web server. Okay, Python web server, Python web server. Okay, Python server or Python web server is developed by following the rules given by Python. Python web server is developed by following the rules given by Python, and these rules are called WSGI. So that is nothing but web server. Web server. So what is this gateway? Web server gateway interface. Web server gateway interface. What is this WSGI? It is the abstracts. It is abstracts or rules given by Python for developing Python web servers. Okay, these rules are given by the Python for developing Python web servers. So WSGI, you can see WSGI stands for Web Server Gateway Interface. It is used to forward requests from web server to the backend Python web application or framework. Okay, so this is nothing but a rule. It is an interface, or it defines some set of rules and regulations here. Web server gateway interface is a mediator responsible for conveying communication between the web server and what Python web application. Python web application. So what is WSGS stands for Web Server Gateway Interface. That is, WSGS container is a separate running process that runs different port on your web server. So what is Web Server Gateway Interface is a rules and regulations. And using these rules and regulations, okay, using these rules and regulations, you develop. It is only for Python. It is only for Pythons here. Web Server Gateway Interface, which is called as WSGI, WSGI also called Simple Calling Convention for web servers to forward requests to a web application, a framework written in which language? Python language. Now, is a Flask is a WSGI server? Yes, Flask is a WSGI application. A WSGI server is used to run the application converting incoming HTTP request to the standard WSGI environment and converting outgoing WSGI response to HTTP response. So actually WSGI means all web applications, in Python, all web applications in Python are developed using which rules? WSGI rules. How you develop these web applications? By using WSGI means who run this Python web application? WSGI. Who run this Python web application? WSGI. So all web applications in Python are developed using WSGI rules. Rules are the same thing, you call it as specifications. Okay, these are called rules or what? Specifications. Okay, and these specifications you implement it. Now framework provide these rules and regulations, and by implementing these rules you will try to develop what? Web application. So please just try to understand this. Actually, whenever you work with a web application, I just go in somewhat detail, right? Okay. So always see here, this is a browser and this is a server. This is a browser and this is a server. Okay. Now always you send a request from browser, you send a request, right? From browser, this is a browser, and from browser you are sending a request by using one protocol. What is the protocol? HTTP. What is the protocol here? HTTP. Okay, you are sending a request from browser to what? Server. By using which protocol? HTTP. What is HTTP stands for? Come on, tell me here. What is HTTP stands for? HTTP stands for what? Online students. HTTP stands for what? Hypertext transfer protocol. What is this? What is this? What it is? It is application protocol. It is a application protocol. It is a application protocol means for connecting web pages. Okay. So for example, there are two persons are there. Okay, two persons are there. Okay, assume that there are two persons. This is a rule for communicating between the systems. Okay. Okay, there are two persons are there. One is X person and one more is what? Y person. For example, X person knows what? English. X person knows English and Y person knows what? Telugu. Is it possible to have a communication between these two persons? No. Because this person knows one language and this person knows what? Another language. But in order to have a communication between two persons, you required one language, right? In order to have a communication between two persons, you required one language. You required one language. Suppose there is a language. What is the language? Hindi. So X person talk in Hindi. That is understood by which person? Y person. Yes or no? So Hindi is one language. Hindi is one language and HTTP is also one language. Okay, protocol. What protocol define some set of rules and regulations? So using these rules, now client is talking to which one? Server. Using this rule, client is talking to which one? Server. Client is talking to which one? Server. Now X person is talking in which language? Hindi. Then Y person, yes, mediator. Now X person is talking in Hindi. Then that Hindi is understood by which person? Y person. Now this person is sending a message by using which protocol? HTTP. Then this person should understand what? HTTP. Now your server, this server is there. No, server is which server it is? The server is which server it is? HTTP server. Means HTTP client to talk to which server? HTTP server. HTTP client to talk to which server? HTTP server. HTTP client to talk to which server? HTTP server. Okay, na? HTTP client to talk to HTTP server. Now you are sending a message to HTTP server. HTTP server receive that message. HTTP server receive that message. And to process, okay, to process here, after receiving message, I should process that information. For that, you are developing this application. For processing that information, you are developing one application. Which application? Web application. But is it this application is executed by HTTP server? No. Because HTTP server understand only which language? HTTP. But your web application is written in which language? Python. To run this Python web application by the server, you required one more mediator. This is one mediator. And this mediator is called what here? Engine. This is called as which one? Engine. And what is this engine is? This engine is called as which engine? WSGI engine. So you required one engine. And what is that engine is? WSGI engine. Now this is called as WSGI, that is web server gateway interface. It is an interface between web server and what? Web application. Either it is written in Flask, it is written in what? Django, it is written in any language. Okay, it is written in any language. So that is common gateway interface. What is CGI? CGI is a common gateway interface, which is specifications, okay, and which is given by Java, and that is used for developing which applications, which engines? Java engine, CGI, common gateway interface, right? So that is for which engines? Java engines, servlets, okay, servlets, JSP, all these are executed by JSP engine, servlet engine. Okay, these are executed by CGI enabled servers. But our servers are what now? Python servers are what? WSGS servers. Okay, so this engine you require, WSGA engine you require, right? So this acts as an interface between the web server and what? Web application. Means it will take the request and send it to web application, and which will manage the execution of web application done by which one? WSGI. Okay, na? So you have to understand what is WSGI. Is it Flask is a WSGI server? Yes, Flask is a WSGI application. A WSGI server is used to run application. Which application it runs? WSGI application. That is what I said here. Okay. A web application in Python are developed using WSGI rules or specifications. So WSGI is converting machine language? No, not like that. Not like that. Okay. Not like that. Okay. It acts as a mediator, means HTTP, suppose this is HTTP server, right? So client will send a request by using which protocol? HTTP. And that HTTP request, it should convert into the request understand by which language? It should convert into a request understand by which language? Python language. Understand by which language? Python language. That is done by which engine? WSGA engine. So WSGA engine work as a mediator between the web application and what? Web server. Okay, it work as a mediator. So this is a mediator. Work as a mediator. This is WSGA engine. WSGI. This is WSGI interface. Okay. Now this is WSGI and this is This is what your web server. This is your web server. This is web server. Okay. This is web server. So web server is there. Okay. Web server WSGI, and this is your web. This is your web application. This is your web application, and this is your browser. Browser is what now? Client. So this is a browser. So this is a browser. Okay. Now client send a request to what? Browser. Browser send a request to what? Server. And server will receive that request and send it to what? WSGI. And WSGI who communicate with what? Web application. And this web application will process and generate the output and send to what? WSGI. And WSGI send it to which one? Web server. And that web server send it to whom? Browser. This is what will happen. So it acts as a mediator between web server and what? Web application. Means this implement which protocol? HTTP as well as what? Web application related rules and regulations, right? So that is what is WSGI. WSGI is used to forward requests from web server to a backend Python web application or what? Framework. Okay. Yes. I just copy this one. Okay. To the backend or your web application, right? So that is what you mean by WSGI. Web server gateway interface. So all Python engines are developed by using this only. Okay. Yes, you can see what is WSGA and NGINX. Okay, these are a web server which is used as a reverse proxy. So mail proxy caching is an implementation of which one? WSGI only, right? So you can see the name of this. What is Flask? What is a Flask? WSGI. So what is Flask and what is Flask WSGI? There is one name is there. Okay, which WSGI is used? Okay, so web server gateway interface. Okay, so when you work with the Flask, it uses one name. Okay, it uses one name, right? So now what is the name of that is WSGI is a standardized interface for web servers to communicate with what? Python application. Communicate with the Python application, right? How it communicate with the Python application? By using one server, and that is what WSGS server. Okay, Apache server can be called as WSGI what server, right? So WSGI stands for Web Server Gateway Interface, and it is a standard specification for web servers and Python web application should interact, right? So just try to understand. And what is the name of this here? When you run the Flask, you are actually running WorkZig development web server. Now, when you install the Python, yes, Django is also WSGI server. Django also WSGI server. Okay, when Flask is installed, when Flask is installed, when Flask is installed, okay, it provides a development server. It provides a development web server. So it will provide development, I can say development WSGS server, called, this name is WorkZug. works you. So this is development web server. What is the name of this server is workzoo, workzoo or workzoo something, right? This is the name of the server, workzoo. This is the name of the WSGI server provided by which one? Flask. So by default, it comes with this. This is a development server. And not only that, Flask also provides a Flask also provides a template engine. Flask also provide a template engine, template. It will also provide a template engine called Jinja 2. It also provide a template engine. And what is the name of that is Jinja 2, template engine. It will provide a template engine. And what is a template engine is Jinja 2. Okay. Yes. Are you getting or not? What do you say here? Yes or no? All of you, online students, are you getting or not? Yes. Okay, now what I'm telling you, are you getting or not? Okay. So what you're doing is, now this is how it is. Now this is called as which server? This is called as WSGS server called which one? WorkZoo. This is the name of the server provided by which one? Flask. And Flask also provides a default template engine called which one? Jinja 2. Is the same engine which is used in what? Django. This is the same engine. This is also same, but name is different. This is also same, but name is different. This is also same. Yes. Jinja 2 template engine means whatever template language you are using, right? In Django, you'll use, okay, all this, right? You are using if, you are using if, you are using what here for, all these are what here? Okay, Django template. This is called as DTL. DTL stands for what? Django template language. DTL stands for Django template language, right? Django template language. Then who execute all this? Or who will execute all this? All these are executed by one engine. There is a template engine, and that engine name is what? Jinja 2. There is a template engine, and what is the template engine name here? Jinja 2. Okay, na? Right. So let me, yes, understood up to this. So web application development required two things. Web application development required two things. One is client software and one more is server software. In web application development, always the client is a browser and server is a software. Server is a software where web application is installed and application resources are what? Served. And the servers are two types. One is development server and one more is production server. And this Python web servers uses some rules and regulations, and that is called as which rule? WSGI, which is nothing but is an interface between the web server and web application written in what? Python. Means you can say who execute web application by WSGI server. Okay. And you write the web application by following the rules given by whom? WSGI. By following the rules given by whom? WSGI. Right? So let me install the Flask software. Okay, let me install the Flask software. Now installing which one here? Flask software. Installing. How to install Flask? Here is just go to the command prompt. Very simple. You don't require a lot of things. I think already in my system it is installed. So already it is there. And what is the current version of Flask is 3.0. Okay, now you can see all this will comes along with what Flask. What is the name of this workzoo? Zinza 2, click, blinker, okay, ID, it's dangerous. Like all these are other libraries which comes with what Flask. I'll uninstall it. Uninstall. I'll install again. So pip uninstall. Okay, uninstall Flask. You may use a Python 3.9 or higher version, no problem. Any version of Python you can use it, but 3.9 or higher version, try to use it. So now I'm installing it. Pip install. What is the name of this here? Flask. Install the Flask. That's all. Installed. Pip install Flask. Flask is installed, but it is downloaded this server or not? Yes. Because this is who execute your Flask application, and you can see it is also installed which one? Jinja 2, right? Yes. Now this is a first step. This is a first step. This is a first step here. Okay. Okay, right? Now after installing the Flask, you can check is it Flask is installed or not by saying pip show what is the name of this Flask. The current version of Flask is the current version of Flask 3.1. Current version of Flask is Flask 3.1. Current version of Flask is Flask 3.1. So this is what you call it as current version of what Flask. Okay. Okay, right? Yes. So then next we'll see creating your first web application, right? You understood this? What is WSGI and what is WorkZoo? What is WSGI and what is WorkZoo? Tell me here. What is WSGI? What is WorkZoo? What is WSGI? What is it WorkZoo? WSGI is engine. What is WorkZoo? Name of the WSGI engine. Okay. It is WSGI engine. Okay, WSGI engine. What is WorkZoo is a WSGI engine. WSGI server whose name is what WorkZoo. What is the name of this? It is nothing but implementation of which one? WSGI standards. Array standards. You should know what is the meaning of standards, right? Abstracts, set of rules and regulations. Set of rules and regulations. I think you know it. For example, you have a various databases. Okay, assume that there is a database called Oracle. There is a database called Oracle and there is a database called which one? MySQL. Suppose this is my Python program. This is my Python program. I want Python program should communicate with what? Oracle. Then use what? One library. What is the library use? What is the library use? CX underscore what? Oracle. This is used to communicate with which database? Oracle database. And assume that there is one more. Yes, there is one more server. What is the name of this here? MySQL connector. I'm talking about Python program. So there is a MySQL connector, and this MySQL connector is used to communicate with which database? MySQL database. Means Oracle, this Oracle people provided CX underscore Oracle, and MySQL people provided MySQL connector. Okay, Oracle people provided CX underscore Oracle, and MySQL people provided MySQL connector. But this is to communicate with Oracle, and this is to communicate with what? MySQL. But how these people are developed these libraries? By following the rules given by whom? By following the rules given by whom? Python. And what is that rule? You can call it as DB API. There is one specification called which one? DB API. That is interface. That is interface. That is called as interface. Now using this, a Python program uses what? DB API to communicate with what? Various databases. It may communicate with MySQL database, or it may communicate with what? Oracle database. Now, what this CX underscore Oracle is doing? Converting Python call into which call? Oracle call. What this MySQL connector is doing? Converting Python call into which call? MySQL call. In the same way, see here, now same way, in the same way, what do you have? What do you have? This is your web application. This is your web application. But how you develop this web application? You develop this web application by using, one framework. You develop this web application by using one framework. What is that? Flask. Or you may develop this web application by using what? Django. Okay. But these are the rules and regulations. And these frameworks follows which rules? These frameworks uses which rules? WSGI. This follows which rules here? WSGI. Now Flask is a framework which uses which rules? WSGI. And Django uses which rules? WSGI. And using that WSGI, you develop what? Web applications. Then who execute this web application? You required executor or engine or not? Yes. What is that engine now? What is that engine now? WS engine. So WSGI engine understand which application? WSGI application. WSGI engine understand which application? WSGI application. Your Flask application is what? WSGI application. Your Django application is what? WSGI application, which is executed by what? WS engine. And who communicate with WSGI engine? Okay, your web. Who communicate with this? By your web server. Web server communicate with what? WS engine. And WS engine communicate with what? Web application. Yes. Yes. Okay. This means on the top of WSGR, we are developing our web applications. Yes. Yes. Not only Flask, even Django also. Not only Flask, Django also. So this WSGI rules are given by whom? Django in Python language, and using that rules you are trying to develop the application, and this application is executed by whom? WSGI engine. Okay na? So this is the story. Understood this story? Yeah? Okay. You understood this story? Simple. You are developing web application by using what rules? WSGI rules. Who's given this WSGI rules? By the Flask, or what is it? Django. They developed in Python, and that rules are given in the form of framework. It is given in the form of what? Framework. Okay. Yes. On the top of WSGI only, you are developing the web applications. Okay, na? Right. Rules are given. Rules are giving Flask. Yes. Which rules? Which rules? Which rules? WSGA. Very good. Chitiraju. Yes, very good. WSGA rules are given by Flask and Django. In which language? Python language. And that rules you follow and develop it. And that is executed by WS engine. Okay, na? Huh? Okay. Yes. See, all these are all framework. Whatever frameworks are there, Python frameworks like Flask, whatever Python frameworks are there, Flask, Django, what is that? Okay, bottle, pyramid. Okay, pyramid. Okay, all these are the frameworks which provide which rules, and all these frameworks provide which rules, WSGI. And these rules you are following and developing web application, and that is executed by WS engine. Okay, that is done by WS engineer. Okay, understood? Okay, Web 2.5, yes, Web 2.5 framework, anything. Yes, 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 yes. You can develop it. Django is a full stack. Flask, bottle, all these are micro frameworks. Cherry Pie, yes. Okay, these are micro frameworks. You don't get all the resources. Okay, yes, yes, REST API also. REST API also. Anything. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. See, it is as simple as like this. Yes, engine is just executed that application. Engine is just like executor. Huh? WSG engine is, see, suppose, अरे एक बताता हूँ यार, मैं देखो सुनो यार, सुनो, बहुत इजी है यार, उतना क्यों सोच रहे? हाँ, yesterday I said already, Bhuvaneshwari, why Flask you have to use? I already said, you can develop web engine if you are very good. Yes. Suppose, see, I'm writing a program in Python. I'm writing a program in what? Python. Huh? Then who understand Python? I write a program in Python. Who understand Python? Python, yeah, very good. Who understand Python? Python translator. Who understand Python? Python translator. Who understand Python? Python translator. అరే పైథాన్ డెవలపరా? నువ్వే పైథాన్ డెవలపర్ కదా, మళ్ళీ ఇంకెవరు వస్తారు? You only Python developer, API Python developer. Na? So, who understand the Python program? Python translators. Python translator. Python translator understand Python language. Okay, na? Python language understand by Python translator. Huh? Then, uh, Python translator understand Python language. Python is a language. In the same way, I'm writing a program in what? Flask. See, just a minute. I'm writing a program in Flask using which language? I'm writing a program in Flask using which language? Python. I'm writing a program in Flask using what? Python. Python language. Using Python language, I'm writing a program in Flask. But Flask is which application? Flask is which application? Web application. Then I should follow these rules or not? Yes. What is that rules? Arey, what is that rules? What is that rules? Very good, very good. Now you are coming to actual. Yes, very good. What is that rules? WSGI. Very good. WSGI. What is that rules? WSGI. Using WSGI, I write a program in what? Python. Then who will understand this? Oh yes, very good. Who will understand this? WSGI, WSGI what? Engine. Khatam. Okay, khatam. Kel khatam. Understood? Yes. Yesterday I said this. Difference between Django and Flask. Over. Yes. Understood? Yes. Web application created next. Yes. Very simple. All this I'm copying here for reference purpose. Okay. Yes. Python interpreter also one engine. Yes. Python interpreter also one engine. Yes. Okay. Now, what are the basic steps? Okay. What are the basic steps to write a Python program? So what are the basic steps to write a Python application? Okay. Now, right. So we already we installed, right? We installed the Python, and then what are the basic steps for creating Python application? Okay, sorry, Flask application. Now these are the basic steps. These are the basic steps for creating. These are the basic steps for creating. Very simple. It's very simple compared to Django. So basic steps for creating, okay, Flask application or Flask web application. The first thing is, anyway, you have to import. You have to import. Okay, you have to import which one? Flask. You have to import Flask. You have to import, what you have to import? Flask. What is the name of the package? Or what is the name of the package? Flask. And second one is, every Flask application is an instance of a Flask. Every Flask application is an instance of what? Flask. Every Flask application is an instance or object of which class? Flask class. Now you have to create an object of which one? Flask class. You have to create an object of a Flask class. Okay, you have to create object of what? Flask class. Okay, this is the second step. And third step is, you have to write a function. You have to write a function that will process the request of the client. Okay, write a function or class which process the request of the client, and generate what? Response. Very simple. See, only 3 steps are there. Very simple. There's no hangama like Django. Okay. So import Flask. Every Flask application is an instance or object of Flask class. It is an instance of Flask class. It is object or instance of a Flask class. So write a function or class which process the request of the client. Which process the request of the client. Which process the request of the client. Okay, right. So where you write the Flask application now? Where you write the Flask application? Any editor you can use. I'm using IDLE here because you people are very familiar with IDLE, right? You can write in VS Code also, but I'm writing in IDLE. You can write anywhere. VS Code also can write, but I'm writing in IDLE. So what is the first step? Import. What you are importing? Flask. Or I'll write like this. From Flask. Import. What is the name of the class? Flask. So first thing is you have to create an object of a Flask class. You have to create an object of which class? Flask class. You have to create an object of which class? Flask class. Okay, you have to create an object of a Flask class. Okay. Now this is my first application. That is application 1. So my application name is application 1. Okay. Now, first you create an object of a Flask. You create an object of a Flask, and inside this you'll be sending a reference of the current module. How can I get the reference of or name of the current module? I can get the name of the current module by using one magic variable. And what is the name of that magic variable? Name. See, name returns the name of the current module. If I say print name, underscore underscore name, print underscore underscore name, that returns the name of the current module. So print name of the current module is what? Main. What is the name of the current module? Main. So always you create a Flask object with what name? Name of the current module. To create name of the current module. Okay. So Flask constructor actually take the name of the current module. Okay. So here I'm creating it by saying Flask, and you are writing here underscore underscore what? Name. See here name. Lot of things it uses, but we'll see all these things. But first I'm giving a name. So it is a constructor. Flask constructor. So Flask constructor here, I'll give the notes later. So create an object of this class and give the name. Give the name. Now this is my application. Which application? You can give any name. What is my application? Application 1. This is application 1. Application 1. This is application 1 or application. Anything you can give. Now this is my application. And this application should perform some operation, right? And you are writing an operation of a application. You are writing an operation. What is my first application is doing is it is trying to display the message. What is the message it is displaying? Hello world. What is the message here? Hello world. And return. What it returns? Hello world. It returns hello world. Now actually this is a function, right? This is what here function. This is a function of which application? Flask application. It means your Flask application is performing one operation. What is it operation it is performing? Hello world. It is performing an operation. What is it operation? Hello world. It is performing one operation called hello world. Okay. How this function is called from the browser? This function is called from the browser by using URL. And you define that URL by using decorator. And there is a decorator available in your application object. And what is the name of the object is router. Okay, what is the name of the object here? Router. And I'm just writing here slash. You can give slash some name. Slash some name. If you don't give anything, you simply put what? Slash. If you don't want to give anything, just put what here? Slash. Just put the slash. Return hello world. Okay. It means this function. See, this is similar to like Django. You are defining URL. How you are calling this function? By using this URL. How you are calling this function? By using this URL. How you are calling this function? By using this URL. And what is the URL I've given? Slash. What is the URL is given? Slash. Any name you can give. Suppose I'll give the URL as what? Hello. What is the URL I've given? Hello. Means this function I should call it by using what name? Hello. If I don't give anything, if I'm saying slash, then it will call which function? Hello world. This is called as URL. And then run the application server application dot run. Now this will run your application server. It will run your application server. Okay, this runs your application server, right? It will run the server. This will run your application server. Which server? Development server. Your application is run in which server? Development server with the port number. It will run in the application, your application in the development server with the port number 5000. 5000. Just click on run and run module. Now you can see this is a development server. Don't use in production development. Your server is running or not? Yes. So this is a local host and your server is running on which port number? 5000. Copy this in the browser. Copy this in the browser and send a request. Copy this in the browser. Copy this in the browser and press enter. What is the message? See here. What is the response? What is the response? Hello world. Now who generated this response? Correct. Who generated this response? This response is generated by which function? Hello world. Because you are calling this function by using what? Slash. You are sending a request to this function by using what? Slash. This is nothing but URL. How to call this function from the browser? How to call this function from the browser? How to call this function from the browser? For that, you have to define what? URL. And how you are defining the URL? By using which method? Route method of your application. Which application? Flask application. Which application here? Flask application. Okay. Understood? You can give any name. Slash. And what is the name I'm giving? Hello. Okay. The name is given hello. So it is run again. Stop this and run this again. So run the server and open the browser. If I say refresh, it is said not found because you have to give that function is called by using what name? Hello. And what is the message? Hello world. Yes. URL. We are route is nothing but for defining URL. So what is a URL path? Hello. Means this function is called with what? Hello. This function is called with what name? Hello. Right? So let me explain all this one by one, right? In the notes. So this is your first what? Easy, na? Flask is easy or Django is easy? Flask is, are you creating any project? No project, nothing. Is it any project is there? No. Everything is one application. Okay. Now here, okay. Now here I'll put, okay, I'll write. See here, Flask class, first point. Always a Flask object, Flask application. Okay, Flask application is created using, creating which class? Flask class. Flask application, always Flask application is created using Flask class. This Flask class constructor, this Flask class constructor receives module name as an argument. Module name as a argument. It receive module name as a argument. module name or name of the current module. Name of the current module. Name of the current module. The name of the current module, is get using a magic variable, called underscore underscore name underscore underscore name underscore 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 name underscore underscore, right? This is the first thing. Second one is write a function. Okay, write a function, write a function, write a function. Yes, background will give. Write a function which perform. Write a function which performs. Write a function. Write a function to perform. Write a function which perform an operation. Which perform an operation by which application? Flask application. Then third step is yes, because by default every Python is executed by default every executable Python program, every Python program is executed with one name. What is that name? Main. It is executed with one name. What is the name? That main. Every Python executable program or executable module is executed with one name. And what is the name? Main. That is not your program name. That is a name given by Python runtime to run your program. Okay. So it is a main program. Every executable program is given one name called main. Okay. Yes. It's a magic variable. So write a function which perform an operation by Flask application. So this function is called in the browser. This function is called in the browser using, okay, using what here? URL. Using URL. URL means you can call this as uniform. This is called as uniform resource locator. It is a public name. It is a public name. Public name which is used to access functions of which application? Flask application. Flask application. This configuration is done. This configuration is done using a decorator. There is a decorator. What is a decorator? Provided by Flask class called which one? At the rate which one? Route. Okay, at the rate route. Okay, it is a public name. It is a public name. And then fifth step is, okay, run the Flask application. Run the Flask application using run method. Run method. So this method install Flask application in development server with port number 3000, with port number what? 3000, 3000 or 5000, 3 or 5, 5, with port number 5000, right? Yes. Understood all these 5 steps? What I write in the program? I explain all that. Yeah, Django is 8000. Very good. Django is 8000. Flask is 5000. Yes. You can have a multiple functions. You can have a multiple functions here. Suppose there is a definition. Okay, you can have a, yes, very good. You can have a multiple functions, not one function. You can have a multiple functions. Your application can have a multiple functions. Okay. So here, now I'm generating. Now again, this is hello world. Hello world 1. Hello world 1. This is one more function. This is one more function, right? What is the name of this function? Hello world 1. This function is hello world 1, and this is output. The output what I want to return is, now I'm saying body. Now I can write in multiple lines. I'm generating the code body. So background color. So I just given body background color, right? So I can give H2 hello. This is my first which application? Flask application, right? And then I'll just write here what BD. So open it, close it, and return. What do you return here? Output. Return the output, and how you call this function at the rate app dot route, and I just write here slash hello one. I just give the name as what? Hello one. Okay, this is a URL. Very easy compared to what? Django. But Django is used because it will provide a lot of features. Okay, na? So I copy this URL and I put here and slash hello one. Now you can see hello. This is first Flask application. Understood? Now you can write this. See, generally you don't write the output in what function. This function is just like a view. Okay. This function is just like what view. This function is just like what here view. These functions are just like a view. It is just like a view. And you can also give the URL. You can also give the URL without using decorator. You can also give the URL without giving decorator. Now definition. Hello world. Hello world. I'm writing hello world 2. So same output. I'm writing this is the same output. Output is the same. But I'll give different color. So return. Return what here? Output. We use template. Yes, we'll use the templates. Array, template engine is there, no? Akash. Template engine hai nahi hai. Template engine is there or not there? There. Then template engine hai bole to templates ही use करते आप. Okay, right? So application dot, there is a method. What is the name of this method is add URL. Add URL rule. Okay. Add URL rule and then define the path. So what is the path I'm giving here without using decorator? This is without using decorator slash hello 2 comma slash hello 2 comma okay slash okay. So what is the name of this? I'll just give the name as what here? Hello world 2. So what is the name of this hello world 2? I just write like this. Add application URL. Okay, add application URL. Now here you are giving multiple names. So what is the name I've given? Hello 2. Now run the application again. Yes. You can give in singular, double, no problem. Here I've given double. Okay. Okay. Now run the application here. If any errors are there, it will show you here, right? So type the URL, and here you can type the URL and slash. What is the name of this here? Hello 2. Any error is there, it will show here. What is the error is given? Internal server error. But it is not shown error, right? But actually you should give the rule like this. Start with the prefix is a slash, and the name is given as what? Hello 2, and the function is what here? Hello world 2. Now you have to write like this. See here it is given error. Argument of type function is not iterable. It is given errors here. Okay. It is not iterable. It's saying it is not iterable. So that is error, right? So you can run this again, and you can just go to this and refresh. The required URL was not found on the server. Now you can use a function here, add URL rule. What happened here? Can also use this add URL rule. What is the name of this? Hello 2. Hello 2 is only hello 2. Hello world 2. Not required. Hello will work. Hello. Hello will work. Hello is already there, no? Hello will work. This is hello and this is hello 1. Hello will work. Hello 1 also work. Okay. Okay, right? Add URL rule. Application 1 dot add URL rule. So add URL rule is the name of the method. Add URL rule. No, not required, because without using that, we are writing it. Without using that, we are writing it. Okay, na? So add URL rule slash, and what is the name of this? Hello API dot hello. Same we are saying it. Okay. It is a predefined function for routing. It is a predefined function only. For routing, it is a predefined function. So application dot add URL rule, and you are giving slash. What is the name? Index. It is equivalent to this. Instead of writing this, you can write this slash index index. Same thing I write. Oh, come on, yeah. So anything you can give. Okay, now. So this is how it has been written. This is the same thing what you are writing here. Actually, you can give anything, but anyway, I'm just giving same name. But actually, you can give any name here. But most of the times you'll go for decorator. Most of the times you'll go for what? Decorator. So that may decrease what here? Coding. That will decrease the coding, right? Why it is not giving here? I don't know exactly. What is the name of the function hello underscore world 2? Add application URL. Same thing. Application dot add application URL, add URL rule. Same thing only here. Why it is not giving? I don't know. Application URL, not API, not required. Oh, we have to give slash. Sorry. Here slash. I just write here hello 2. And this is a name. So here I'm writing hello 2. So hello 2. Yes. Now hello, this is my first Flask application. Now here you have to pass the two things here. One is okay, you have to pass two things. You are passing two things. That is what I forgot here. So take total 3 arguments here. So one is a rule, an endpoint, and one more is a function. Yes. One is a rule and one more is an endpoint and one more is a function. View function is the last one and this is an endpoint to which you are sending a request. Okay, na? So this is an endpoint and this is a view and this is a rule. Okay. So yes, you can also write like this. Remember this. Add URL rule. Yeah, you can take the same name or different name. No problem. Same or different name. No problem. Okay. But most of the times you'll go for what? Most of the times you'll go for decorator. Most of the times you go for what here? Decorator. Okay. Yes. Most of the times you go for decorator. I copied this code here. Okay. Open the browser and run. Open the browser and run the application by giving different URLs. Then how can I send the data to the function, view function? How can I send the data? How can I send data to the view function? Okay, how can I send data to the view function, right? How can I send the data? Okay, see the data can be sent to the function in different ways. Okay, so data can be given to okay view function or function in different ways. One is by concatenating with URL, URL, and second one is using form, using HTML form, using HTML form. How many ways can you send the data to the view function? Two ways. By concatenating with the URL, and second one is using HTML form. By concatenating with the URL, and second one is using HTML form. Okay. So we'll discuss this otherwise in the next class, like how to send data to the, yes. Okay, right? Data can be given to view function in different. Now this we'll see in the next class. Today I conclude here. I think you understood all these points, everyone. And even I'll tell you in the next class how to include the templates and how to include the template and all the things. Okay, na? Right. So today we'll stop it here and we'll continue on Monday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow no class. Monday you have a class. Right? Thank you. No video here. No video. These videos will not be available. Okay. These videos will not be available. Okay. You have to attend the class. Yeah. This documentation I'll put in my Telegram. This is my Telegram and I already uploaded yesterday's notes. Okay. Now this is code with, this is my Telegram ID. This is my Telegram. Okay. Yes. This is my Telegram ID. We'll see. If time is there, we'll develop one project. If time is there. Okay. If time is there, we'll develop it. Okay. If time is there, we'll develop. Now this is my Telegram ID. This is my Telegram ID. Telegram. This is my Telegram ID. Okay, right? If possible, I'll tell. Possible, I'll tell. Right. Thank you here. Jai Jagannath. Right. Thank you. We'll see you on Monday. When the day Django means, it will take some time. Maybe it will take some time. Maybe after 1 week, 10 days, they may start. Okay. New batch. Thank you. We'll see you on Monday.